Hey everybody, I'm LPGrodus and I'm here to list my top 10 greatest Robot Masters from Megaman 1 to 5. Remember that this is my personal opinion, and if you disagree with it, feel free to list your favorite Robot Masters through Megaman 1 to 5 down in the comments. Also, this list contains spoilers, so watch on your own risk. Enjoy everybody! Number 10. At number 10, this list starts with Fireman from Megaman 1. Now, Fireman, he kinda looks like a candle, which is kinda neat. He was actually built to burn stuff as, you know, waste management. It was built by Dr. Light, you know, until Dr. Wily decided to rebuild him for his evil purposes. But that's not the reason why he's my number 10. The reason why it's my number 10 is because as a kid, it was the Robot Master I had the most difficult time with in Megaman 1. Granted, he only attacks you when you attack him, something I didn't realize until 1 year ago or so. Which makes him kind of easy when you think about it, but back then it was rather difficult for me. Not only that, but he takes quite a beating with his weakness, the Ice Slasher. His fire also leaves a trail of fires on the ground. So if you stand still on the same spot while attacking him, you're gonna get burned. Number 9. Next up we have Toadman. And just as the name suggests, he looks exactly like a toad. Now, what makes Toadman so amazing is the fact, well, first of all, he's a toad, so that's awesome in itself. But what makes him join my list at number 9 is the fact that the way he is attacking, you see, he does a little dance, and then he makes it rain, so you know, he makes a rain dance, and his dance is kinda silly. Unfortunately, the footage I used here from my own old Let's Play, it didn't really give him a chance to attack, so there is that. That's kinda his problem. Whenever you attack him, he will flinch, jump over you, and he won't simply attack, which kinda robs him of the fact that he would have made it higher up on the list if it wasn't for that fact. Originally he was built by Dr. Cossack to make it rain during droughts, but when Dr. Wily forced him to rebuild Toadman for combat, he made sure that Toadman would attack with acid rain instead of regular water. And you know, acid against any robot is kind of effective, especially if you have light bulbs on your head. Makes it melt down. Number 8. Don't get high hopes, because this guy is made out of stone. At number 8 we have Stone Man, a Robot Master built by Dr. Wily out of stones or bricks, just to look intimidating. Something that Stone Man is clearly not. Now, Stone Man himself, the reason why he is number 8, it's again appearance based. He looks so damn stupid. It's hilarious. So you know, just because he's looking stupid, he's making it to number 8 on my list. That's the only reason. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course, that's not the only reason. It's actually quite a fun boss to fight. Now, his weapon, the Power Stone, which is also his second way of attacking, it's kinda bad, just like Stone Man himself. But the way he crumbles when he falls, that's just hilarious. Now, of course, the fact that he's made out of stone, he is weak to a napalm bomb, which kinda obliterates him quite quickly if you place out your napalm bombs at a good angle, or a good spot rather, right before he lands on the ground. You gotta admit, it is quite impressive how high he can actually jump, considering that he is made out of stone. Then again, that's when he actually crumbles. However, the reason why he's number 8, besides, you know, the reasons I listed right before this. When he crumbles to the ground, he is actually invulnerable to damage during that period of time, so it's actually a quite good tactic, even if it's probably not something that was thought out by him. Number 7. This next Robot Master is a star, and his stardom takes him to number 7 on the list. It's Starman. Starman is mostly here because of the fact how fun it is to fight against him. Of course, that's not the only thing that makes him join this list here at number 7 and all, but it's one of the major reasons. While Megaman 5 had the weakest of Robot Masters, in most cases anyway, it was one of my favorite Megaman games. In fact, it's my favorite Megaman game out of Megaman 1 and 5. The entirety of Starman's stage is in lower gravity, so it's kind of like an underwater stage, but at the same time it's not an underwater stage. So it makes for higher jumps while you're playing this stage. That also comes into play in the boss fight itself. Both you and Starman can jump very high, and the only difference here is that Starman can actually freeze himself in mid-air, and he also has his star shield, which protects him from harm's way. So it's quite an effective shield, although, you know, it's called Star Crash. It's also a shield that he can shoot as a projectile towards Megaman. The weapon itself is pretty damn weak. It's only good against the Gravity Man, which is already weak. So, you know, Star Crash itself does not have that much of a use. But you also get the Super Arrow from defeating Starman. The Super Arrow works 2 ways. It works both as a weapon and a platform, kind of like number 2 from Megaman 2. What makes it different is that if it hits something that isn't an enemy, it will stick to it. So if you hit it on a wall, you get an extra platform which you can jump up on. So it's a very handy tool you get from defeating Starman. Ironically, it's also the Skull Tank's weakness before the Wily Capsule at the final fight in Megaman 5. Starman himself is weak against Waveman's weapon. His weakness will also make his Star Crusher shield disappear. However, fighting him with his weakness, it's not so much fun compared to other Robot Masters. Because most of the fun in Starman's fight is jumping, shooting him when he shoots a shield at you, aligning yourself in at good positions where you can easily jump up and shoot him. That is what makes Starman join at number 7 on my list. Number 6. This is not a drill, I repeat, it's not a drill. Drillman is here at number 6. Drillman joins the list at number 6 because he gets the job done. Now, Drillman, he was originally built by Dr. Cossack, just like Toadman. And just like Toadman, he was built for a purpose. His purpose is not as noble and great as Toadman's, as he was simply built to drill mine shafts at construction sites, drilling away rocks and whatever. Drillman is one of the tougher Robot Masters of Megaman 4, one of the harder ones to buster. Considering that he has hands for drills, he can drill himself down into the ground and hide from you that way. And during that period of time you cannot damage him, but he can damage you by drilling up where you're standing, which makes it so you have to constantly move, so that the Drillman don't drill up towards you. Not only that, but he can also shoot drill projectiles towards you, which explodes on impact, which makes him a very dangerous Robot Master. His weakness is the dive missiles. The dive missiles home in on him. However, he can avoid that when he digs down into the ground. This also makes it a bit difficult for the dive missiles to hit Drillman, so he has a pretty sneaky way of avoiding your attacks. Even though Drillman can be difficult to hit, it makes for one awesome boss battle. One that's a lot of fun to fight. Which is why he makes it to number 6 on this list. Number 5. Magneton is at number 5. The reason why? Just look. Yeah, it looks like he's taking a dump on the battlefield. Jokes aside, Magneton is actually one of the strongest Robot Masters in the Megaman universe. Since he controls the magnetic energy and can have metal magnetized towards him, he can effectively use that against other robots, drag them towards him, exactly like he's doing against Megaman here. Besides that, he also looks pretty cool, his design is pretty good. And his weapon is called the Magnet Missile. And it's actually one of the most powerful weapons in the Megaman games. In fact, it was so powerful they in fact nerfed it in Megaman 3 during the Wily Wars. That says a lot when you nerf someone's weapon because it's far too strong. Besides that, he's also a lot of fun to fight against. Mostly because of his hilarious expression when he uses the magnet pull. And of course, dodging his magnet missiles are also a lot of fun when you encounter him during Megaman 3 and the boss rush later on in the game. He's not too difficult though, which is the reason why he enters number 5 on the list. But then again, difficulty has nothing to do with this list. Number 4. Man, this is so hard! Next up, at number 4 is Hardman. Hardman is probably the heaviest of all the Robot Masters, weighing at about 3 tons, which you kinda notice on how he moves. And you can kinda see that he never really walks towards you, he always flings himself like he's boosting off with his rockets. Hardman is in fact so heavy that when he lands on the ground, he makes the entire screen freeze. So yes, he actually managed to freeze Megaman in the air. Unlike a Gutsman who would normally make Megaman fall on his behind. Hardman, he freezes the entirety of the room instead. That is some hard powers. Hardman's Knuckles packs quite a punch too. It can even destroy certain pillars that are standing in Megaman's way. In fact, it's also so powerful that it will destroy Gamma, the final boss of Megaman 3's head, with a few mere punches. Now that, if anything, very very amazing, and that's why Hardman is number 4 on the list. Number 3. Next up at number 3, we have someone who is truly metal. It is Metalman. Now, Metalman is a fan favorite among many of the fans of Megaman, and for good reasons too, considering that he gives Megaman the strongest weapon in the Megaman universe, the Metal Blade. In fact, the Metal Blade is so strong, it's actually effective against 4 out of the Robot Masters of Megaman 2, including Metalman himself. In fact, it is the strongest against Metalman. On normal difficulty, you will destroy Metalman in 1 Metal Blade, while in difficult mode you will defeat him in at least 2 Metal Blades. That's also the reason why he's lowered down to the 3rd spot on his list and not the 1st or 2nd. All because he's weak against his own weapon, and very weak at that. Other than that, he's quite fun to fight against. If you play on normal, it's very easy to fight against, but on difficult, he can still pack quite a challenge for you. Even being able to manage to kill you if you're not careful enough and dodge his metal blades. But with that, Metalman earns his 3rd spot on this list. Number 2. Number 2 on the list is the greatest Robot Master of them all, Bubbleman. Well, technically 2nd greatest, as he's only in number 2 in this list. The very first reason why Bubbleman is on my 2nd place here on the list is because he resembles a frog, so that's always a plus in my book. Not only that, but he's quite effective in the water. In fact, he's the only robot master that can one-shot you in one hit. Not from himself, but you know, from the spikes in the ceiling and during the battle against him. Of course, this is only the first time you fight against him. And for the most part, I don't think anyone jumps straight into them, but they still have the chance to take you out in one go. Even though most people consider him the most pathetic robot master of them all. Not really sure why that is, because he's not that weak, to be honest. At least not if you play on difficult. Sure, normal, I get it, but difficult, he can be quite a challenging robot master. Of course, he has a defect, so you can't really walk on land, making him, or forcing him rather, to jump from place to place, just like a frog. Bubbleman's weapon, the Bubble Lead, is effective against certain enemies that you can only damage with it. Not only that, it is the only weapon you can use to defeat Alien Wily at the end of the game. No other weapon is effective against him. Only the lead bubble can do damage against Wily. Therefore, he has rightfully earned his spot at number 2. The only one that can defeat Alien Wily. Number 1. This Robot Master is at the top of his game. It is number 1, Top Man. Okay, so I can picture some of you are actually very confused now why Top Man is my number 1, while Bubbleman isn't. And well, you see the reason to that? It is because Top Man does not take this fight seriously. Just look at him when you fight him. He shoots his 3 spinners towards you, he does his dance, he dances towards you, like he gives no shit whatsoever, and then he does the same thing over again. By defeating him, Megaman is granted an amazing dance move of Top Man, which takes down Shadow Man, one of the hardest robot master in the game, if not the hardest. You know, despite the fact that he also dies against his own weapon like Metalman. What is in fact the only way I could defeat Shadow Man back in the day when I didn't know Top Man was his weakness. So that's quite amazing. But not only that. Oh no, we're not done there. There is more. With his weapon, you one-shot Wily. When Wily appears during the Gamma fight, one dance move and Wily is toast. I'm not even kidding. Dr. Wily can't take the amazing dance moves the Top Man gives Mega Man. Therefore, Top Man is the greatest robot master there is out of Mega Man 1 to 5. So, there we have it. That's my list of my top 10 greatest robot masters from Mega Man 1 to 5. If you disagree with this list, feel free to share your top 10 greatest robot masters down in the comment section. With that said, thank you very much for watching, stay froggy everyone, and hopefully I will see you in the future.